Set in England, the film begins with four thieves who specialize in stealing expensive antiques. The group consists of Leon as the leader, his younger brother Chaz, and their two partners, Vix and Tot. This time, they plan to steal valuable paintings from a wealthy couple's house while the owners are away. As usual, Chaz stays behind in the getaway car while the others break into the house. After disabling the alarm system, they quickly begin searching for the paintings. But things almost go wrong when Chaz suddenly notices the homeowners returning because the wife forgot her wallet. He immediately warns the others, and thankfully they manage to hide just in time without getting caught. In the end, the crew successfully steals paintings worth $25,000, which could later be sold for nearly 10 times that amount. The next day, Leon and Chaz deliver the stolen paintings to an antique shop owner named Gregory, who turns out to be the man behind all their jobs. After receiving their payment, Gregory offers them another mission with an even bigger reward. But surprisingly, Leon refuses right away. Later, while splitting the money with the others during a game of pool, Leon admits that he wants to quit stealing for good. He believes they already have enough money to pay for Chaz's college tuition and start a better life. Unfortunately, the rest of the group, including Chaz himself, still wants to continue pulling jobs so they can earn more money and survive. Before long, they eventually accept Gregory's next mission, which is stealing a ceremonial hunting knife owned by the extremely wealthy Redwick family. After stealing a delivery van for the operation, the group heads to the massive Redwick estate later that night. According to their informant, the entire family is supposedly away on vacation, leaving the mansion completely empty. Since the property is enormous, Leon finally allows Chaz to join the burglary inside the house instead of waiting in the car, hoping it will help them find the knife faster. As soon as they break into the mansion, the alarm immediately goes off like usual, and the group quickly shuts it down. Inside, the house is filled with expensive antiques, so they split up to search faster. Leon and Chaz head upstairs, while Vix and Tot stay on the first floor. After spending several minutes searching for the ceremonial hunting knife, Leon and Chaz suddenly realize something is wrong. A locked door mysteriously opens on its own, making them realize they are not alone in the house. Before they can react, a man suddenly appears and shocks them with a taser, knocking them out almost instantly.
Bro, we're not alone.
Hello. Suits you.
It turns out the Redwick family never left the mansion at all. This is Hounded. When the group wakes up, they find themselves tied up and transported deep into the Redwick property. A driver and dog handler named Blake drags them out and brings them before Mrs. Catherine Redwick, better known as Kat, who calmly carries the ceremonial hunting knife they came to steal. Instead of calling the police, Kat decides to punish them personally. She believes the justice system is too weak, so her family handles intruders their own way. Strangely, the thieves are not executed right away. Their stolen items are confiscated, they are humiliated in a disgusting way, and then suddenly released into the wilderness. At first, the group thinks they have been spared. They begin searching for the nearest road, only to realize they are trapped inside an enormous forest surrounding the Redwick estate. Not long after, they spot a group of riders dressed in traditional English hunting outfits, carrying weapons alongside several hunting dogs. That is when the horrifying truth finally sinks in. The Redwicks are not hunting foxes tonight. They are hunting them. The riders turn out to be the Redwick family themselves, including Kat, her brother Hugo, Hugo's son Miles, and another relative named Remington. Instead of immediately killing the thieves, they intentionally allow them to run, so the hunt feels more exciting. Meanwhile, Chaz and the others keep running through the forest, grabbing pieces of wood to use as weapons. But while trying to escape without knowing where they are going, they accidentally enter an area filled with hidden bear traps. The traps are buried beneath tall grass, making them almost impossible to spot. Now every step becomes dangerous. On top of that, they continue hearing the sound of hunting horns echoing through the forest, signaling that the Redwicks are getting closer. The group panics and starts running again, while desperately trying to avoid the traps. But while climbing over a wall, one of them slips and gets caught in a bear trap. Chaz and Leon quickly help free him before the hunters arrive. Unfortunately, Leon is not as lucky. As he tries climbing again, the hunting dogs suddenly catch him. Within seconds, he is overwhelmed and brutally torn apart before the others can save him. Later, Leon's body is placed directly in front of the Redwick family, while they casually sit together drinking milk as if nothing happened. Without hesitation or sympathy, Kat uses the ceremonial knife to slit his throat. She then wipes the blood across Miles's face and hands him the knife as part of a twisted family tradition, celebrating his first successful hunt. Leon's brutal death completely breaks Chaz emotionally. At that point, fear slowly turns into anger, and Chaz becomes determined to make the Redwick family pay for what they have done. After running deeper into the forest, the group eventually reaches a small dirt road. Not long after, they hear Blake's vehicle approaching nearby. Thinking quickly, Vix pretends to be dead in order to lower Blake's guard. The moment he gets close enough, they ambush him, beat him down, and jump into his vehicle. For a second, it seems like they finally have a chance to escape. Unfortunately, Blake still has the keys on him, so the plan immediately falls apart. Once they hear the hunting horns echoing through the forest again, they are forced to flee on foot once more. Eventually, Chaz notices tire tracks nearby and suspects there might be another farm or settlement somewhere close. At the same time, Tot realizes his injured leg and the scent covering their bodies are making it easy for the hunting dogs to track them. Knowing he will slow the group down, Tot decides to distract the hunters while Chaz and Vix search for the farm. When Chaz and Vix finally arrive at the farming area, they quickly realize the place is completely deserted. Chaz spots an old vehicle and tries stealing it, but unlike modern cars, this one actually requires a key to start. Desperate, they break into one of the houses to search for the keys, but they cannot find them anywhere. Meanwhile, the Redwick family realizes the thieves have split up, so they divide into separate hunting groups as well. Hugo and his son Miles go after Chaz and Vix, while Kat and Remington begin tracking Tot. Knowing he is being hunted, Tot cleverly leaves his bloody bandages near a river to confuse the dogs and buy himself some time. During the chaos, he secretly steals Blake's walkie-talkie while Blake is distracted nearby. Not long after, Hugo and Miles arrive at the farm and begin trying to lure Chaz and Vix out of hiding, but this time, the two refuse to panic. Instead, Chaz comes up with a dangerous plan. He secretly fills the room with leaking gas and sets items on fire to create a trap. Then just as Miles enters the house, the entire place suddenly explodes.
And he blew the house down!
Miles is killed instantly in the blast, leaving Hugo devastated by the death of his son. Meanwhile, Chaz and Vix manage to escape and reunite with Tot. To hide their scent from the hunting dogs, they spray themselves with lavender insect repellent before quickly moving again. Not long after, Kat realizes they have been deceiving her the entire time and contacts them through the stolen walkie-talkie. Chaz tries bluffing by claiming they already contacted the police, but Kat makes it clear that nobody can help them out there. Every inch of land in the area belongs to the Redwick family, meaning there is no safe place to hide and absolutely no way out. At the same time, the signal from the stolen walkie-talkie is successfully tracked, meaning the Redwick family now knows exactly where they are heading. With no idea where to escape, Chaz climbs to the top of a tree to get a better view of the area. From there, he finally spots a small village located several miles away. Believing it might be their only chance to survive, the group immediately heads toward it while the Redwicks continue closing in behind them. But Tot's condition keeps getting worse, and his injuries are slowing everyone down. Realizing this, Chaz and Vix decide to distract the hunters while Tot runs toward the village alone. Unfortunately, Hugo eventually finds Tot deep in another part of the forest. The two end up fighting each other, and moments later, a gunshot echoes through the woods. When Kat arrives to investigate, she discovers both men are dead. Tot has been shot, while Hugo dies after being fatally stabbed during the struggle. Meanwhile, Remington takes a short break with Blake and several servants, completely unaware that Chaz and Vix are already nearby. The two suddenly ambush them at gunpoint and humiliate Blake the same way the hunters humiliated them earlier. But during the confrontation, Remington secretly grabs a knife and tries attacking them. Before he can strike, Vix quickly shoots and kills him. Seeing this instantly enrages Blake, and he grabs Vix in retaliation. But Chaz reacts fast by releasing the hunting dogs. Because Blake's body has been covered in the same scent used on the victims, the dogs immediately turn on him and attack him without hesitation. Using Blake's vehicle, Chaz and Vix race toward the nearby village as fast as possible. Sadly, disaster strikes again when a fox suddenly runs across the road. Chaz swerves in panic, causing the vehicle to crash, and a large piece of wood ends up piercing Vix through the shoulder. Chaz quickly backs the vehicle away and helps Vix continue toward the village on foot. But her injuries are simply too severe. Before long, she can barely walk anymore. As Vic slowly dies from her wounds, she asks Chaz to survive and start a better life somewhere far away from all of this. Chaz promises he will honor her wish, but in order to keep moving, he is forced to leave her behind alone. Not long after, Vix finally dies. Thankfully, Chaz eventually reaches the village alive. He enters a crowded coffee shop filled with local residents. Seeing how terrified and exhausted he looks, the villagers calm him down, give him food, water, and a coat, and even contact the police for help. At first, Chaz believes he is finally safe, but everything changes the moment he notices one of the same hunting horns hanging inside the cafe. He also spots horseshoes and articles celebrating the Redwick family's hunting traditions. That is when he realizes the horrifying truth. The villagers are connected to the Redwicks too. Without wasting another second, Chaz immediately runs away and luckily encounters the police officers who were supposedly coming to rescue him. Relieved beyond belief, he thinks they are finally taking him home. Instead, the officers betray him and bring him straight back to the Redwick estate. When Chaz arrives, Kat is already waiting for him. But surprisingly, instead of killing him, she rewards him with a large amount of money for surviving the hunt for a full 24 hours. Apparently, this twisted game has been a long-standing Redwick family tradition, and the rules must always be honored no matter how many family members die during the hunt. Kat even allows Chaz to report everything to the authorities if he wants to. She is completely confident that nobody will ever believe his story anyway, especially since all the bodies have already disappeared. Before leaving, Chaz is not only given the money but also a van to drive back home. On the way home, Chaz still struggles to process the nightmare he survived. Then near the end of the film, Gregory arrives home from his antique shop and discovers a package sent by Chaz. Inside the package is a hunting horn identical to the one used by the Redwick family. Moments later, police sirens can suddenly be heard approaching outside. In the end, Chaz finally exposes Gregory to the police for running an illegal antique business connected to stolen goods, a business that ultimately led to the deaths of his brother and his friends. So the moral of the story is, if a rich British family says they love hunting traditions, just stay home and play PlayStation instead.